Hello, this is Man That Get Nuked. I am thirsty down there. One day I'll remember that. Oh, my lovely players, but not that one. Who is currently in a wonderful place with hills and greenery. I believe on top of a mountain, she said. So, yes. Mountain or green. Right. I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Isn't that lovely?
Good start.
Yeah, it is. It's always strong starts. I always find if I speak quickly and forget what I'm saying, it works. So yes. Indeed. Much more noon, miscreants. So, we should be starting the second chapter of our prologue for our next campaign, The Long Road Home, which is called Scum, in which my lovely players will be playing glorious, scummy people, doing awful, scummy things, in a terrible, scummy place. Which is always good. You know, just bring that proper post-apocalyptic vibe through. So yeah. Before we go any further, we'll do rules for chat, because I can see there are people in chat, which is nice. Even if it's only us and much. Valued viewer much. So, don't be at all about someone's race. Don't be at all about someone's, I can't remember. Gender, orientation, colour, general preference for dice sizes. And, in general, just don't be at all.
Or a screwdriver.
There we are. I think I clustered a few more in there, but I think they were all good ones, so I think we're golden. So before we gallop on and I start making up things frantically because I forgot to plan anything at all until this morning, so we shall proceed in our normal fashion of introducing people and asking who they should be playing, and we will start with Lilth.
Okay. I'm Lilth. I will be playing the lovely Blossom, who is a rotter. She's a bit of a tech pervert, and she's got a criminal background, and she likes guns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Continuing your proclivity for playing, unstable, intelligent characters.
Well,
or at least skilled.
Art follows reality.
There we are. Okay. You heard it here.
Yeah, I'm unstable.
There we are.
Not very good at anything, but unstable.
Well, you must be good at things. If nothing else, you've lived this long.
That's true.
Yeah. You've failed to die thousands of times.
That's probably a bonus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See? That's a message to the world there, Everything else might be going wrong, but you failed to die thousands of times.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, every morning is a victory. So, moving on. So we've got Blossom, a techie rotter who loves guns. Tell us one random thing about Blossom.
She doesn't have any underwear.
She doesn't have any underwear. Ah, lovely. What a wonderful image. But if she did, what colour would it be?
Pink.
There we are. See, now we know something deeply personal and interesting. Or it might just been that I was holding a pink pencil. So, we shall move on. And we shall move on to the wonderful Kit. Who should you be playing tonight?
I am playing the one and only Prophet Bob.
Ooh.
He is a human this time.
Okay.
He is a biker priest for the old god Heezus.
Okay.
But as I've said before, by biker priest, it's a lovely pedal bike with pink ribbons.
A cyclist priest. Fair
No,
enough.
he's a biker. He still has a leather jacket.
Okay. So it's got lovely bike, pink ribbons. Tell us something strange about Prophet Bob. Tell us something miscellaneous.
He collects shiny things. Any shiny thing he finds.
Any shiny thing he finds.
Yep.
If this was a more restrictive system, I might have to hold you to that. So I will write in my notes here, likes shinies. Or just shinies! With 3 lines under it. Okay, so we have Prophet Bob, the biker priest who loves shinies. Does his bike have a name? Is he one of those biker dudes who names his bike? Or
Squeaker.
Squeaker. Perfect. Lovely.
It might not be the quietest bike ever.
Well, I imagine, good quality mineral oil is hard to come by. So, yeah. Squeaker. There we are. Prophet Bob, the biker priest, on his bike Squeaker with pink ribbons, and he loves shinies. I imagine he's probably got a lot of bike bells.
And broken CDs.
And broken CDs, nice. Having bike bells tuned to some kind of hymn. Riding along, trying to ring them all.
You could say that, but it's probably just a racket.
Yeah, fair enough. So there we are. So we have Blossom and Prophet Bob, the first 2 scavenging scum. So, Tech, who shall you be playing tonight?
I will be playing Heinz. He's a rotter. Has some skills in medicine. He's also quite fastidious, which doesn't really fit very well being a rotter. He doesn't like the fact that his body is basically falling apart, and he spends an awful lot of time either covering it up or attempting to basically replace his failing skin with something that looks pleasant. But yeah, he tends to wear gloves and full length shirts and things and kind of cover up any bits of his face, you have a balaclava on or a mask or something on to try and kind of cover up the fact that he's rotting away.
Okay, so yeah. So essentially, you have a rotter who's sort of a terrible self-shamer.
Basically, yeah. He's quite a skilled tailor, so he basically kind of maintains his clothing to look kind of quite nice. Which he also if he can find something that he can basically sew onto his limbs to try and make his skin try and look more nice, he will do. One of his hands, he may have sewn something in, the glove may actually be sewn into his flesh to try and kind of cover up the fact that all his skin's fallen off and things like that.
Ew.
Oh god. So essentially he's kind of like someone with leprosy making themselves a skin suit.
Basically, yeah. He's just kind of holding himself.
No.
That's awful.
But at the same time, trying to make it look quite nice. So, people wouldn't immediately look at him and go, "Oh, that's a rotting person wearing a skin suit." They look at someone and go, "Okay, that's a weird guy who's kind of covered himself head to toe in not quite nice." He's got a reasonable fashion sense. His clothing goes together quite nicely. He's clearly spent a lot of time kind of either crafting his clothing or repairing them.
Fair enough. Okay. So yes. So there we are. There's our lovely cast of horrible, scummy miscreants. So, should we see what we're doing then? Right. We'll set the scene. It's evening. It's sort of late in the year. You're not sure what year it is. You're not the sort of people who check. The weather's not great. But it's not as bad as the storms a few years ago. Drove everyone inland. So you're all sitting, in your camp. Where would you set a camp? You're in the hills, outside of a town. Would you set it in a valley? Would you set it on top of the hill so you can see everything?
Why aren't we in the town?
You're not exactly the kind of folk people like in towns.
I probably got us chased away.
Or I stole something that necessitated us disappearing.
Well, I'll be trying to stay somewhere that can keep me out of the elements as much as possible. So, if I have a tent, or if I don't have a tent, I'll probably put my put a cloak or something over a bush, and then kind of crawl into the bush to kind of keep out the rain and wind and stuff.
Definitely not in the valley. Get wet, flooding. Definitely not on the top because get blown away. So on a nice little ledge, part way down.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there's a cave, even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, you found when you were looking for a place to put your camp, you found what probably at some point was an animal's den. Like, one side has collapsed completely in, so it's more just of a scoop in the side of the hill. But yeah, there's enough shelter there to keep the rain out if you sort of, keep your backs against the wall. You can have the fire in front of you to keep you warm. But yeah, you've got, a fairly open view out of the hills in the area that's charmingly known by the locals as fuck all. As you look down onto the main trading route between Waterville and Pete's. And you're just sort of north of Waterville. And between you've managed to make yourselves unwelcome there. So as you sit there, you're probably having an evening meal. What are you eating? You've recently been to town. You might have grabbed something you like. What have you got?
I think
Dog
my
burritos.
my guy's going to have a vegetarian stew.
Okay. So did you cook the stew yourself, or did you buy it and bring it with you?
I guess I cooked it myself. Part of my, I probably would have brought some vegetables from the town, prepared it myself, and cooked it.
Okay. So yeah, you're sitting there with your purple carrot and your grey potatoes and all the wonderful fare. And you've made yourself a wonderful slightly chunky stew. And you've got some very crusty bread. Now, they said it was fresh, but it's good enough for stew. You wouldn't trust it for a bread bowl. But yeah, so you're eating that. So Prophet Bob's eating a dog kebab?
Yeah.
Okay. What's Blossom eating?
Fresh scuzzle.
Ah, fresh scuzzle.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Good old fresh scuzzle.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I would like you to roll a d4.
It's to see how fresh the scuzzle is and whether it's going to attack.
That's 4.
Oh, good. This scuzzle has 4 limbs. Not all do. Which is always nice to know. You haven't got one of the really weird ones. Although the weird ones tend to have more meat, strangely. Less bones. So there you are. You're all sitting eating your lovely fresh meals. The sort of food you choose to eat all the time if you could. And as you're sitting there, you see a row of lights heading along the road. You've got a fairly good view. You're not close enough that people will see you. They won't notice a fire off in the distance, but people don't wander off the main roads to go and investigate fires, especially not in the early evening in the desolation. So you see a line of lights coming along, and it's rather odd. Normally, a merchant group would either have camped down for the night, stayed in town, or just kept in greater numbers for protection. If you really got to move at night, you don't do it willy-nilly.
How many people can we see?
Well, I say you're sitting a fair distance away, like in the gathering darkness, so you can really only see sort of a dozen lights, but they're not very bright. there might even be personal lights.
Okay. So we assume there's like at least a dozen people by the looks of it.
They might have things at either end of a cart or something, but yeah, probably.
Okay. Seems like a reasonably large group, but
not for travelling around here at night.
no, but they outnumber us significantly.
Oh yeah, they outnumber you significantly. You can probably bet on them outnumbering you at least sort of 3 to 1. So yeah, that group sort of trundles along, and I don't know, you the sorts to make a note of that. See if they've dropped anything in the morning.
And they don't look like they're stopping. They're carrying on, are they?
Yeah, they're not moving very quick, but they're making their way along the road.
Are they heading towards Pete's?
Yeah, they're heading north towards Pete's.
Okay. How long would it take to get to Pete's from here?
Probably the best part of a day and a half, if not more.
Okay. So, interesting that they're heading out at night in that direction. Might mean they're going to camp up and sleep through the day or something, but it's a bit of an odd way to travel.
Yeah.
Just a little bit suspicious.
Indeed. So you say, you're sitting there, you're eating your dinner, this caravan passes you by. Are you just going to take a note of it and go and check the road in the morning? Or are you going to follow them? Or are you going to go, not my problem? You going to bed down?
Interesting to take a note of where they're going, because
Yeah, take a note where they're going. Have a look in the morning to see if they've dropped anything, and maybe see if they need any help with anything.
Okay, cool.
I'm hoping that maybe we could
Help.
maybe some of them will be attacks on the way there, and there'll be something left after that. So.
Bob is absolutely peeking his head out of this little alcove that we're in to see where they're going. More souls need to be saved.
Well, we'll see if we can find any lost souls tomorrow.
Okay, so yeah, you finish your meals. I say, which of you would be the most likely to have a drink tonight? You've literally just left town. You've left with everything you wanted, and probably some things other people still wanted to have. Would you be, drinking yourselves to sleep tonight? You've just had a fair, nice meal. Is there any chemical entertainments you wish to partake in? Or are you?
I don't think I'd be drinking anything. If I have anything to preserve my body, I'd probably be applying that as like a nightly routine. So I'd probably be like applying formaldehyde to my hands, that kind of thing, just like,
Fair enough, yeah. You're
I feel like Prophet Bob would be somehow communing with his Lord and Savior. So he has to get into an altered state of mind for that.
okay.
bring out hallucinogenic fungus.
Yes, or something.
You're going to start licking the cave walls and hope to have a fever dream.
So you know that over in Squeaker's little shopping basket, you have a little jar of sacred frogs. You make sure to keep the jar nice and moist. You periodically drop in like tea leaves and things. They seem to be getting on all right. So yeah, you can go and pet one gently and lick your finger or something.
Yeah.
Just pop it under your tongue for a few minutes. Lick that frog.
How many frogs do you have in the jar?
Let's roll a d4. That is currently 1.
Okay,
Only
you,
one.
you currently just have the one frog. Like, you know there are ponds around where you can find them. They're not wildly rare. They're just hard to catch. What's its name?
Mark.
Mark. Okay.
Marcus.
Marcus. Fair enough. You have Marcus. Now these frogs, because of the way that the radiation in the water has affected them, they're almost transparent. And at night they give off like a faint glow. You're not sure if that's, bioluminescence, what they eat, or radioactivity, but
God's grace.
It definitely makes them look holy. Yeah, God's grace. So there we are. You have Marcus, illuminated by God's grace. So yeah, you how do you sample the nectar of Marcus?
I hold him up to the light of the moon, say a little prayer, and then just take a big lick,
Okay.
and then put him back in the jar.
Okay, you lift a terrified frog high in the air on your flat hands, your hot, dry hands. Yeah, why not? I want you to give me
Grapple.
a check of any kind to try and convince this frog to not escape.
Religion at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
In the name of Heezus, stand still.
Is there a religion check?
I this might just be my atheist speaking, but that's manipulation. Or possibly intimidation. Depends on where you want to go with it.
No, I'll do a manipulate.
Okay. So you attempt to manipulate a frog.
Again, that's... Oh yeah, no, that's a d12. I'm like... I thought I grabbed my d20. 13.
Okay. Marcus is gonna roll.
An opposed manipulation.
Yeah. You what do you say to manipulate Marcus into staying still?
By the grace of Heezus, give me a sign as to what to do tomorrow.
Okay, well you got
Oh, Marcus.
yeah, you got a 14, a 13, 14?
13.
He got a 5. So he just turns and looks at you, and little Marcus says, "Ribbit," which you can interpret how you wish. And he holds perfectly still. So yeah, you get a nice big mouthful of frog slime.
Oh.
So yeah, give me an endurance poison.
Okay. So it's just this plus whatever my poison is?
Yep.
3.
3. Oh joy. Okay. Right.
The blessed seizures are upon you, my son.
Oh. Right, like you take 4 points of damage.
Nice.
Yeah. You take 4 points of damage, and you start just having like explosive nightmare visions. You see, you see everything and nothing. Your mind briefly grows to encapsulate the entirety of the world and all the suffering within it. And you see through the haze and pain Marcus sitting there in a little halo of glowing silver light. Marcus turns to you and says, "Go in the light of Heezus, son."
And he's wearing a robe.
Yep, he's wearing a little robe. He's carrying a little scepter. He has a little like golden sunburst on his chest with a human heart in it, with like a little banner wrapped around it saying "Hope." As your vision holds on this scene, because it's almost like the film stops, like it starts getting like the cigarette burn patters at the outside, and sort of turns sideways slightly, in sort of sepia tones. You realise that Marcus is wearing your shoes, and he's got the ribbons from Squeaker wrapped around his wrists. And at that point, you wake up and it's morning. You're covered in sweat and you're knackered. So, Blossom and Heinz, your human has fallen over and dropped his frog.
Can I attempt to scoop up the frog before he hops away?
Yeah. Argue me something.
Well, he's got the jar, hasn't he? So I'm going to attempt to kind of pop the jar over the top of it, like kind of catching a spider.
Yeah.
So I guess that would probably be like reflex or like.
Yeah, go for a reflex. We can take a reflex on that, and Marcus will get a reflex on it too.
What's my reflex like? I haven't got anything in there, so I assume it's just my dexterity.
Half dexterity plus endurance.
That's good. My endurance is pretty good.
Yep.
That's not bad. 12.
Damn it! Right, yeah. You slam the jar down, and it just catches one of Marcus's legs, like under the rim. Like he's in it, but like one of his little toesies gets caught. Because he was just jumping, he's gone bam, just as he started jumping. Yeah, he pulls it in. He doesn't seem to be particularly hurt. He's just a bit muddier, where you sort of ground his toe into the dirt a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. But he doesn't seem to be any the worse for wear, because he only got one less than you. So something had to happen. But yeah, you've managed to contain Marcus. Do you like flip the jar over and put the lid back on or something?
I will do. I believe I've got a. Haven't seen the effects this guy's got. I have a scalpel. So one of the things I am going to do is actually going to gently stroke Marcus with the scalpel to apply his hallucinogenic things to my scalpel. Actually, sorry, it's a bone saw, so I'm going to gently apply it to my bone saw. Because this would be an interesting effect. It may possibly numb the pain the next time I have to perform an emergency limb removal.
Okay.
Or at least, reduce the ability for anyone to resist having said limb removed.
What manner of bone saw is it you have? Are we talking like a stainless steel bone saw?
Yeah, one of the short ones. Like kind of you think like the kind of it's kind of a square block about probably so long and about that kind of. It's almost like a kind of just a solid kind of rectangle of metal with a.
It's like 6x4 things,
Yeah, and it's basically kind of like your handle there, so it's just designed to kind of. It doesn't have much of a kind of thing, but it's designed. It's quite sharp, and it's in very good condition. It's being kind of like it's not rusty or like covered in blood or anything. It's
okay. Yeah, you stick this incredibly large, sharp metal implement into a jar. It's like I will assume it's like a large coffee jar sort of jar.
Actually, what I'm going to do, because I was thinking it was a scalpel, it would make sense to dip it in there. But actually, as I say, I'm actually just going to use my finger just to kind of scoop it off there, and just apply it just to the very kind of edge of the blades on the little saw.
Okay, give me a dexterity. Yeah, this will not be easy.
4.
Yeah, you stick your hot dry finger in there, and Marcus is having none of it. He hides under things, he burrows into the mulch at the bottom of the jar. You try and find him. After a while, there's just a lot of mulch, a lot of stirred up filth at the bottom of a jar.
Okay.
You have.
I will. I'll give it a rest for now, and I'll just put the top back on the cap on the jar.
Okay.
Are the holes in the top of this jar, by the way? It's like, being not my jar, I realised that maybe he leaves it half unscrewed to allow airflow into it. So before I seal this thing airtight, I better make sure there are a couple of holes in the top.
I say that there aren't any holes you can see.
Okay. I'm going to just like poke a couple of holes in the top of it, just so. I assume it's just a little flimsy tin lid, so I can with a knife or something, just poke a couple of little holes in it.
Okay, yeah.
Not enough for him to escape, but enough to let a bit of airflow through.
Okay, yeah. So you've ventilated Marcus's jam jar. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, coffee jar. But yeah, there we are. So yeah, you've done a good turn for the evening.
Cool. And after all that, it's probably quite dark now, and I assume the lights have kind of passed away.
Yeah. Yeah, they're sort of they're heading further up the path. Yeah.
Cool.
You can still see them because you're basically overlooking in a valley. But yeah.
Cool. Okay. I'll keep an eye on them for a while just to see like what direction they're going, how fast they're moving. I mean, are they going at quite a pace, or are they going at kind of a slow, steady pace?
They're going at a normal pace. So yeah, you're going to sit watching them. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What's Blossom doing?
Blossom is ignoring both Prophet Bob and Heinz because she's used to Prophet Bob's antics. She would have got hold of a bottle of Dying Cola and will be drinking that while playing with some random tech that she's picked up somewhere. Just trying to figure out what it is.
She has Dying Cola. Oh, shit. Okay. Could have mentioned that before. Christ. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Blossom has a bottle of the dreaded Dying Cola. Jesus, I can't believe you did this to me. So yeah, you're sitting there drinking one of the most reviled and dreaded poisons in the desolation, and yeah, it feels great. You're a rotter. You get the full kick of like 90-year-old caffeine, and and slightly fermented like sweeteners. In fact, heavily fermented sweeteners. You didn't even know sweeteners could ferment, but apparently, and yeah, you get that you get that warm, fuzzy, burning feeling in your extremities. It's almost like being human again, but worse. But yeah, you feel pretty good. You're probably careful not to go near Bob with it, but he clearly can't be trusted with things that are dangerous to him. Are you finishing this bottle, or is this like your sipping whiskey?
This is like my sipping whiskey, and I also make sure I do it after Prophet Bob has done his whole spiritual ritual thing, so he's completely not aware of what I'm up to, and I keep it well hidden.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is your secret sipping whiskey. Do you have it like in an original Dying Cola glass bottle, or do you have it like a hip flask, or?
No, it's in a original plastic bottle. Ooh.
Original plastic.
Nice.
God.
Nice.
I think that's even worse.
Yeah. Well, it lasts longer.
Aged and brown slightly from potentially heat exposure.
Yes. I imagine, is this something you traded for, or is this something you found?
I found it.
Did you find it on someone who was mysteriously near a vending machine?
Yeah.
Someone who didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Someone who didn't appreciate Dying Cola as much as you would have.
Yeah, exactly.
So you liberated them of the responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do that with something heavy?
No.
Okay.
Something sharp.
Something that went bang?
Sharp and light and applied to the correct area.
Yeah.
No comment.
Fair enough. So yeah, there we are. You spend your evenings in your various ways. Prophet Bob laying on the floor, weakly convulsing, muttering about talking frogs, the sin of the world and all the suffering. Heinz complaining that he couldn't catch this goddamn frog. All he wanted was a bit of venom. I think It's venom when they give
Holy
it to you, and it's
ichor.
poison when
Poison.
you
It's
eat
poison
it.
when you ingest it. It's venom when it's injected.
Ah, that's it.
Yeah.
Cannot remember. Yeah, so it's poison. So yeah, you were like, God damn it. Ah. And I assume Blossom just has her drink and goes to sleep, ignoring them. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just let them get on with it.
Yeah. Okay. Does Heinz go to sleep, or do you spend the evening, glaring out over the valley watching the caravan?
It's dark now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'll go to sleep. There's no
Okay.
point trying to do any tailoring work while there's no light.
Fair enough. I want all of you. Actually, no. I want those of you who aren't currently in the midst of some, crazed drug delirium, to take a perception check.
Oh, I perceive everything.
Yes.
He perceives the whole world, remember?
Yeah.
I perceive through the world.
Yes.
Non-natural 12.
Mm-hmm.
6.
Okay. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to take this D8, and Kit's going to take a D8, and we're going to roll to see what the difficulty for the check that Blossom just took was.
Okay.
Because Heinz has definitely failed. Right.
I got a 2.
Excellent. That's actually very good. I got a 7. So yeah, in the night, even over Prophet Bob's rumblings and grumblings, Blossom, you're pretty sure you hear some gunfire. Like, it's a fair way off. Now, it's not an immediate danger to yourself or any of the rest of your friends here. But yeah, there's definitely something going on down the valley. You're not even entirely sure which direction. The sound bounces off the hills, it echoes back on itself. And obviously, you're sitting in a little scoop in the earth, so it's all amplified where you are anyway. Probably why you chose this place. But yeah, you're pretty sure you hear some shit going down in the night. Like, it's probably a few hours after everyone else has, turned in. You're still awake, or maybe you've woken up. You have a little extra sip of your favourite drink, and roll over and sort of go, is that gunfire? So,
Yeah. I just basically squirrel that information away to let everyone know in the morning. If it's too far away to affect us, we're not going to be able to get there.
Do you go and
Anytime
have a
soon.
look, or are you just gonna?
I will stick my head out to have a look, see what I can see.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You walk around the fire. Probably take a few moments to let your eyes adjust, because you not need it. And yeah, you you look right, you look left, and far off to your left, up to the north, you can see occasional flashes. Something's on fire. It's not a big something, but yeah. Something's on fire. There's definitely sort of shapes moving, insofar as you can sort of see lights being obscured by things going past them. Big things.
Blame me, Roger.
If there's big things moving, then there's not a hope in hell I'm going anywhere near them at night.
Well, these things might be a couple of miles away, at the very least.
Yeah, it's dark. It's nighttime. There are weird stuff out there, weirder than us. I'm staying put.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
I will investigate it in the morning, though.
Yeah. So yeah, you know that somewhere up to the north, there has been a fire. There has probably been a fight, or something's been attacked, defended itself, maybe. But yeah. There you are. You've lasted the night. So yeah, morning comes. Prophet Bob, your holy vision has just ended. What do you do? What is the word you say? As you sit up, you emerge from your divine revelation.
The sins of the world.
Hot damn!
Okay. The rest of you are woken up by Prophet Bob sitting up and suddenly screaming, "The sins of the world!"
It's fairly usual, I suppose.
Yeah, I just kind of look around, turn over, and try and get a couple minutes more sleep.
Fair enough.
I'm going to wake myself up and get up and just kind of begin the process of brushing down and cleaning myself off from a
Okay.
night of sleeping in the wilderness,
Yeah.
removing every trace of leaf litter and things I can.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Start cleaning yourself up. Right, Bob. See, I wish I had one of those location dice sometimes. But yeah. Oh, actually, I think I have a thing for that. We
The
did.
location dice.
No, we don't have it anymore. So yeah, you're as you sit up this morning. Ooh, shit. As you sit up this morning, you have like a horrible ache in your chest. Yeah, like the father and mother-in-law of all heartburns. Yeah, it's kind of like you licked a bad frog or something. And yeah, I mean, this isn't unusual when you emerge from one of your divine revelations, but you feel like grilled shit, basically. You feel wrung out. Your joints hurt. Your heart hurts. Your eyes feel dry, like you've been up all night drinking. You just sort of feel generally dehydrated and crap. And because of that, you're going to take 2 levels of exposure.
Cool.
Yeah. Which means that now your minimum level of suffering is 1. So you take -1 off of all your rolls.
Awesome.
And ooh, shit. And your max HP drops by 5.
Imagine Prophet Bob isn't going to survive that long licking the frog every night.
Well, Prophet Bob only licks the frog when he feels moved by the Holy Spirit, I imagine.
So, the 4 points I take, does that go 4 points down from my new maximum as well?
No, you took that beforehand.
Yeah, you took that
Okay.
beforehand, don't worry about it. Your max just drops. Essentially, you now have 1 less hit point. Sort of thing. Yeah, you get it? Max drops by 5, so you're only 1 hit point worse off than you were. But you can't heal it.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you're feeling naff. Suitably naff for someone who just spent all night having a crazed drug trip on frog poison.
I feel for the world.
But at the same time, as you awake, feeling like dog shite, you do feel, in some vague manner, somewhat more legendary. You feel as if your very being has ascended to a higher state, and as such, you now have +1 maximum legendary points. You have 2 legendary points, like a human. But you have 3 now, because you're better than a human. You're Prophet Bob, damn it.
Human plus.
Yeah, you're human plus. You have a maximum of 3, and you have 3. So there you are. You've traded health and vitality for epicness.
Ah!
That basically sounds like Bob by the sound. In his mind, he does this every day.
So yeah, there you are. So, as the rest of you either acknowledge or completely ignore Bob, he sits up. He starts like probably cackling madly. I don't know, mumbling about how he's been touched by God. He's now far more epic. He's now a well. Now that you feel more touched by grace, what's your new title for yourself? You already decided you were a prophet. Where do we go from there?
Double prophet.
I don't know if there's anything better.
I don't know. The blessed prophet, the most holy prophet,
The
chosen of Heezus.
Prophet Bob, the Most High.
Excellent. Yes. You proclaim yourself the Most High, and everyone else agrees, I imagine.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're there. You're in your camp. You're brushing off. You're trying to get some sleep. You're coming out of a mad drug stupor. Go.
Can I assume it's light now, yeah?
Yeah.
Looking down, can I see any evidence of that caravan that passed last night?
Not immediately. In the daylight, you don't have helpful indicators like bright lights burning. Apart from that big one up in the sky. So you can see like a plume of smoke up the road, but that could be, a lone house somewhere. That could be a cook fire. It could be a bonfire. Who knows?
Okay. Can I tell from like how thick the smoke is whether it's like a normal campfire or whether it's something bigger burning?
You can tell that the fire was bigger than yours.
Okay. Probably not a cook fire, because if you had a really big fire, it's not really good to cook stuff on. Okay. But it's not like enormous black plumes of there's something being destroyed here with fire kind of thing.
It's not like someone's burned down a town.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, even when you burn down a house or something, all the things that really aren't meant to burn tend to give a really black, awful looking smoke that's kind of quite distinctive.
No, it's nothing like that. It's
okay.
Yeah. So you're admiring the view.
I'm just trying to think where to go, really, because I haven't really got any particular destination in mind. I'm considering seeing if I can follow along behind that cart we saw yesterday and see if we can pick up any leftover bits, or if anyone gets involved in in a fight or anything. Maybe I could find some injured people that need treatment.
Okay. Do you voice this to your companions?
Yeah, as I'm looking around, I'm like, yeah, maybe we should go down and see if any of those. It's dangerous traveling at night. Maybe someone was attacked, or
Oh yeah, someone was definitely attacked last night.
Then I think we should definitely go and have a look. There might be something for us to go and acquire in the wreckage.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely a big fire.
Heezus himself came to me last night, and he said, "Save the people. We got to go. Their souls need saving."
We better go then.
I kind of shake my head and just turn to Heinz and just address myself to him and just say, heard some gunfire last night, saw a fire, lots of big things moving around, thought it best to keep well away, but it might probably is worth checking out. It's kind of north of us.
Okay, I'll point at the plume of smoke. Was it that one, you reckon?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
It burns with sin.
In that case, Prophet Bob, you'd better take us there.
And I will.
I'm gonna park myself on your basket.
Okay.
Onwards, Prophet.
And I go.
Is this like a BMX where you've got like the little foot pegs that
No.
horses can sit on the back of, or is there like a rear basket that you can like one of those?
It's like
straps?
probably a little bit bigger than like a 14-year-old girl's bike.
Yeah, it might have a pannier rack on the back.
Also, rotters are generally quite light because there's.
It's not much of us.
Then yeah, you probably can all fit.
I think we just pile on this bike and head off down the hill.
Oh god. Right then. Right, I'm gonna need a physical endurance from Bob. I'm going to need.
It's also your vehicle handling.
Oh, screw it. I'm going to need physical endurance from all of you.
Do we? Does Bob have any specific like proficiency?
That is a natural 12.
Nice.
Oh dear.
Does the -1 do anything to that since it's a natural 12?
No. It's a net.
What kind of check do I need to do? Sorry.
A physical
I
endurance.
botched.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, so did I.
Excellent. Wonderful. So yeah.
Onwards down the hill,
yeah.
balance the front of the bike.
You all hop on Squeaker. Prophet Bob's mighty biking muscles kick in. And you slam down the hill at breakneck speed. In that way that you see like really seasoned cyclists do. He's pumping the pedals so hard he's actually accelerating downhill under his own power. He's hitting rocks, he's bouncing off little rises, he's bumping straight over small animal burrows. Yeah, it's not so great for everyone else. Screw it. That's great. Actually, yeah, you both botched. Yeah, you who botches first? Doesn't really matter. Okay.
I'm on the front and you're on the back.
Yeah.
So if the order of which I guess like I'd be most likely to come off in the deceleration. She'd probably be most likely to come off in the acceleration.
Yeah.
But,
so yeah, you're probably about halfway down this this impressively tall hill. When the front wheel goes into what was probably some kind of animal hole. Now Bob knows in this situation to throw his weight back and pull the front tire back up and do a little bunny hop because he's a seasoned cyclist. Heinz, however, sensing impending doom, just dives. You put your hands on the handlebars, you push down, and you dive to the side. And you hit a rather nasty sharp flint, like with your temple as you hit the ground. And you continue rolling like a fairway. And when you come to rest. There we are. That wasn't too bad for you. When you come to rest, you've lost a single digit from each side of your body. You can decide finger or toe.
Oh. I'm gonna say little. I just lost one from each side.
Yeah.
I'll mix them up, and I'll lose a toe from my left side and a little finger from my right side.
Okay, I want you to make a note of those. But yes. You've lost a toe, a finger and a toe. So yes, Blossom. As you're crashing down the hill, you hit a bump. You lean forward. You grab Bob. Bob doesn't seem to be at all put out by the fact there are bumps or sudden decelerations, jarring swerves, any of that. You see Heinz, bail off the front and hit a big flint and, continue rolling, and you think, oh, Christ. Well, I don't know. What do you think of that, You see him hitting a big, outcrop of flint rather unpleasantly with his face.
I probably think to myself, "Oh shit, this was not a good idea."
Okay. And as that goes through your mind, as that goes through your mind, you hit like a little bit of shale, lots of little like lapping rocks, and Bob goes into one of those like rather groovy skids, where the front wheel keeps going and the back swings out. As he sort of slaloms down. But being that do you normally ride Pania on Bob's bike? Is this?
I'd assume this would be the normal way of travelling.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got some experience of careening downhill on Bob's bike, but sort of shale slopes aren't common around here at all. So the first time this skid comes on, you just grip on for dear life. The second time, it kind of dislodges you a bit, and you have to grab Bob and pull yourself back up. And the third time, you do that thing that every kid who's ever ridden Pania on a bike does, like on a motorbike. And when it turns, you lean the wrong way. And in doing so, you just slide off. And you land like quite heavily on your right hip.
Mm-hmm.
And you slide unpleasantly down the shale slope. So we'll give you both. Oh shit! Okay. Right. Without knowing anything further, you have a choice. We'll cover the person who's already lost digits. Red or brass? Brass. Okay, you take 1 level of exposure, making you weary. You take 3 damage. Sorry, Lilth. You take 5 levels of exposure.
Oh, so I take a level of exposure. Was that so?
Yeah, you take 1 level. Lilth takes 5.
Ow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're knackered our characters before we've actually started this.
Campaign. Yeah. Well, you decide to.
This is a great start.
Sorry, 1 level of exposure.
Yeah, 1 level of exposure. Lil, that means that your minimum suffering is now 2.
Yeah.
And your maximum health drops by 4. So yeah, you both end up, rolling to a stop about halfway down this hill, feeling pretty pretty battered around. Maybe flatland passengers on Bob's bike was better.
Yeah. Normally we're kind of at the bottom of the hill when we start doing this. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bob, you're full of holy fire and joy. You've just crashed down an enormous hill. You've lost these freeloaders who also always seem to cling to your bike. Squeaker's going full speed for the first time in months. What are you doing?
Your souls will be saved!
Do you shoot off down the road or
Yeah.
stop and
Yeah.
wait for the bucket? Yes.
I'll see him heading off towards the smoke, and we're like, well, I guess we'll meet him there.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah.
I was told to go.
Yeah. Yes. Apparently the Heezus bike
They
has
told
no
me to
brakes.
take them there.
Yes.
I'm going.
Excellent. The Heezus bike has no brakes. Does it literally have no brakes? That's a good question.
On a high roll, yes. On a low roll, no. Surprisingly, it does.
It does have brakes. Excellent. Faith in moderation. Excellent. So, there we are. So, you choose not to apply the brakes and you cane it off down the road as fast as your apparently enormous and powerful legs can carry you. So yeah, You just like you vanish off down the road. You're probably a couple of miles ahead of them by the time they get to the bottom of the hill, which is probably only sort of 5-10 minutes. No, he's going a hell of a rate.
Definitely screaming obscenities at Bob.
Like what?
Like, you fucking bastard, you could have stopped, you complete and utter tosser.
Howling from the hills as she like
Yeah.
stumbles down with her bad hit. Did I manage to keep my missing digits, or have they gone somewhere? They've just disappeared. I would have been wearing gloves, so I wonder if the severed finger is still in the glove that I'm wearing.
Yeah, you just you've sat up and one of your fingers is sort of hanging at a clearly detached angle.
Cool. Should I be able to, as I'm kind of like walking along slowly, try and attempt to sew it back on?
You can give it a shot. I mean, attempting surgery on yourself while walking down a country road is probably not the easiest thing anyone's ever attempted, but you could give it a shot.
I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah, go for it.
I invoke all my glorious medicness.
Okay, you're actually using medicness. Fair enough.
Yeah. But I am sewing myself, not my shirt now. It seems more medic than tailor. The glove repair comes later. Oh, unless I ball this back up and then I'll just leave the finger in the glove and then just sew the glove back onto my hand again. But anyway, so that was a 5. What's my medic? Medic is 7, so 12.
Yeah. You can probably sew your finger to your hand. There's no chance, let alone guarantee, that this will work. Again, it's you've just sewn a piece of detached flesh to yourself onto the stump without cleaning it. So yeah, you can raise your hand and it looks right, but it will only look right for about a day, and it will start looking very odd.
Well, later on, I'll probably. If I've actually noticed that it's kind of like this is going really wrong, I'll probably just give up and just throw the finger away, and just later on I'll attempt to find something to put into the finger of my glove to make it look like my hand is still okay.
Well, you've attempted to perform, a crude surgery. It's just not working out.
Yeah,
it's on there at the moment.
I'll leave it for now. I might attempt to improve on my work later on or something.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So yes, you're sewing your finger back on. Blossom's swearing. Are you doing anything more productive than swearing? Are you swearing while walking?
I'm swearing while walking.
Okay, there we are.
If I can sew a finger back on my walking, you can swear while walking.
Oh yeah, we're just making sure, I wasn't ruling out that Blossom's just standing there swearing loudly.
Just like, screw you!
Yeah. Yeah. As you're sort of hobbling along, you do come across some discarded items, which you assume are probably from the caravan that's passed through, or one of the many caravans that passes along this road.
Okay.
Among these items is what was quite clearly a walking staff at one point, but it sort of snapped 2/3 of the way up. So it could conceivably become a crutch if one had woodworking tools and time and padding, but right now it's just a stick that's awkwardly slightly too long to use as a walking stick and slightly too short to properly use as a staff.
Yeah.
I grab it anyway.
Yeah. It's...
So does this look like just like rubbish that someone's just thrown out with as broken, or does it look like it?
I mean, as this is the desolation. People don't come along cleaning up the roads. So this is just discarded crap. This is your bread and butter as a scavenger.
Yeah.
But it seems to be pretty well picked over. You're probably not the only scavengers in the area. This has probably literally just been thrown off by someone in the last day.
Yeah.
Is there any tech in it?
Any tech?
Mm-hmm. Or even bits of tech?
You find a broken light bulb.
Oh, I grabbed that.
Yeah, it's like one of those non-standard fitting imported car light bulbs for a turning signal. Your encyclopedic knowledge of tech tells you that, but you don't know what car it would fit in.
Yeah.
Are there any clothing?
You find a sock.
Okay.
It's got a hole so large in the toe end that you're not sure if it's the toe end.
Okay. I'll hang on to it anyway because I can probably open it back up and turn it into a rag or a bit of cloth. So
Yeah.
it could be useful.
Excellent. See, proper scavengers.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You let nothing go to waste. You never
Yeah.
know when you can use an old bit of sock for something.
yeah. You
It's always used for rags.
exactly. As you sort of you keep walking along, you find like you see the familiar orange cardboard of an Onal's breakfast muffin package, which some people like to collect. Their Onal's are everywhere, but finding pristine packaging is quite rare. Is that? And as you're picking through, looking for tech and usable things, you find that. What's Blossom going to do?
Is it a nice colour? Is it?
It's definitely a striking colour. It's it's a nice pumpkin orange.
I'll take it as I might find a use for it. Maybe it's maybe going with some clothing or something. Maybe like a bit of flashing on some something.
Or use it for trade for a collector.
Yeah.
So as you pick it up, you realise that it's heavy enough to not be empty.
Okay.
Do you open it?
I will open it. Have a look.
Okay. When you open it, you find what appears to be it appears to be a series of sort of greenish brown slices of something vaguely vegetable. They're slightly oval, and they have some kind of sauce on them. It's sort of a greyish sauce. And there's probably 20 or 30 of these things in there. And when you smell, they smell terrible. Truly disgusting. The sort of thing that only the most depraved maniac would eat.
This is pickled gherkins. We found it.
Yeah. You found a cardboard package full of discarded gherkins.
Awesome. Are they in good condition?
Gherkins don't go off because no one eats them. Not even bacteria.
I eat them.
Yeah, depraved maniacs.
Yeah, depraved maniacs. In fact, if these look pretty good, I'm going to actually help myself to them right now.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, you walk along, helping yourself to
Nice breakfast.
yeah, maybe
Pickled gherkins.
maybe four or 5 dozen discarded slices.
Devour
of
my
gherkin.
way through this pack of pickled gherkins. Yep.
Oh,
I look at you and just go, that's just disgusting.
Oh, there's nothing
Why?
better than pickled gherkins.
No.
You know-
Why? Why would you eat that? That's just no.
Why don't I drink the last of the juices out when I finished eating them as well, just to...
Oh no.
No.
Just do that away from me.
I can actually feel it in my throat.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
pickled gherkins.
As you get to the bottom of your stack of gherkins, you find one of those. You find one of those just bizarre and unnatural puck eggs. God knows how it's been kept fresh, or at least food-like. But yeah, you gonna eat that?
Yeah.
God. You're worse than I thought. But yeah, you sit there and you eat the disgusting Onal's puck egg, and 5 dozen gherkins.
This is one of the best days scavenging we've had so far. Like, it's been a long time since I got a trove like this out of the box I found.
Yeah. You munch all that down. You know, your rotter constitution, you know, has blessed you with a complete lack of a sense of taste. Like most rotters.
I reckon, like, pickled gherkins, like, if you've got any semblance of taste left, you'll get something out of it.
There's a definite sensation of texture.
Yeah, I assume, like, you know, like rotters that would go for things like super spicy food just to try and get some sense of something out of it. Like gherkins have that kind of like zingy taste to them. So.
If you say so. Yeah, there's like a faint sensation of taste, kind of like in terms of like the intensity of the sensation, it's like when you think you've heard someone in another room, but you know you're alone in the house. You know, when you think you've heard your phone like go off, but you haven't got your phone with you. It's just like that frequency of sound triggering that realization in your brain, sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, you're like, But yeah, I imagine what's Blossom doing all the time that Heinz is slurping up these vile, greasy, pickled filth.
She is muttering under her breath about how everyone around her is just disgusting and why are they doing this?
I'll offer you a pickled gherkin. Seeing your blatant distress.
I give you a look. It's one of those looks that if it could kill, you would be stone dead.
So yeah, you walk along, you know, picking things up every so often. You probably arrive. You probably sort of catch up with Bob in about half an hour. You've probably gathered, you know, a fair armful of stuff. Right, Bob. You cycled off ahead. Souls needed saving. Your made up message from your potentially fake god, ringing in your ears. You slam it down the road, and you come to what is quite clearly a pile of ashes just off the road. There appear to be bits of burnt wood wrapped around this pile of ashes. There's discarded bullet brass laying on the floor, which is odd because most people who use guns collect that shit because it's valuable.
I collect it.
Yeah.
I'm there first. I am picking that up. Yep. It is shiny.
It is. It's definitely shiny. So yeah. And as you sort of walk around, you notice that there are big prints in the dust around the road. And the road surface is quite fractured anyway. But you can notice there are parts of it that have clearly been scuffed recently. You don't see any bodies, notably. So whatever happened here, you can find blood, but no bodies. Give me a perception.
Oh, they're like smears.
You're not there yet.
Perception?
Okay. Yeah. Give me a perception.
That's a 6.
6. Yeah, you're pretty sure that's blood. Might be spilled wine. You know, it's red. You know.
I'm gonna just touch it and then to make sure it's not wine.
Yeah, you touch it. It's not wine. It's probably not Ribena. You know, you're fairly sure it's not fruit squash. Yeah, it's probably blood. It's definitely red. It has that. It has that coppery taste. So yeah, you've got maybe half a dozen blood splatters sort of around the place in general. some of the blood looks considerably darker. Almost black. You have what was appears to be sort of like a burnt out cart, basically.
I'm going to take the shiny, polished-looking cross off the back of my bike and just kind of wedge it in the ground in the middle of this area and say a prayer to Heezus in the name of these souls so that they can go to his bosom, his froggy bosom, safely.
Okay. Heezus is a frog now. Cool.
The frog cult.
Yeah.
It spreads.
Okay. Yeesh. Okay. So yeah, you deliver a stirring benediction for these lost souls. Yeah, this is when you guys turn up. Bob is standing, probably on the cart.
On pile of ashes.
Yeah. Well, no, on like the fallen down, like scorched wooden remains. It appears what was on the cart has been burnt to ashes. The cart has just sort of collapsed under the heat and damage.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Parts of it have been on fire, but it hasn't been consumed. Okay. He's delivering his stirring benediction, embrace to his froggy bosom that they may leap again and attain the light. May the tadpoles of their souls rise to the meniscus of eternity. I don't fucking know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And break through into the light of Heezus' love. That they might devour the flies of sin and grow large and tumescent. Because he doesn't know what that word means. But yes. Apparently it's a frog cult now.
I'm going to leave him to his benedictions, and I'm going to go and investigate any bodies, because they're obviously my number one scavenging opportunity. So I'm going to go look for bodies.
Yeah. As you scout around, just like the good prophet before you, the Most High, you find blood splatters, mainly. You don't find any bodies in the immediate area.
Okay, with the blood splatters, are there any signs that a body's been dragged away or anything after that?
There are plenty of drag marks. They don't all appear to be in the same direction, and all of them stop without a body.
Okay, interesting. Are there any trees nearby?
No.
Okay, so this is like a wide open area.
Yeah, pretty much.
Any scrub bushes or anything?
There's lots of like low scrubby brush. Yeah, it's standard like motorway siding sort of deal. So there's lots of like scrubby plants that no one really looks after, but they don't need to. Yeah. Stuff that feeds on biodegradable rubbish that's been thrown away.
Okay, I'm gonna start nearby the wagon and basically just go out in like expanding circles from there, just checking the scrub bushes to see if there's any signs of where bodies have been like dragged through them, or like hidden underneath, or if there's any burrows or anything things have been dragged into.
Okay, I want you to roll me a perception, and we'll come back to you.
Okay.
So you hold on to that dice when you get the result. Right, Blossom.
I'm looking for any technology or anything that could be interesting.
Okay. Well, from what you can see, you have blood splatters, a cart, a pile of ash, and burnt rubbish, basically. So where do you think it would be the best bet to look for tech?
I'm going to have a look through the burnt rubbish first, and then the cart.
Okay. And you've got a poking stick too now.
I do, yeah. I'm going to poke it with my poking stick.
Okay. Yeah. You poke down into the ash and filth with your poking stick, and you definitely hit something. There's something. You go for like the big first like plant it in poke, and there's like a dull thunk.
I start digging.
Okay. You start digging. You dig in, and what you find as you're sort of digging is you find a very dull grey box. It appears to be ribbed in places for support. And it has 2 big silver locks on it. And over the top, there are some letters stenciled. Can Blossom read?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. On top of this box, you can see the letters, or at least partial letters, D, V, E, I, L. And they are all just stamped on in black. You're pretty sure that's not all of it, and those letters are kind of partial. You've sort of put that together as best you can. But yeah, that's what you come across. This is a dull grey reinforced box with 2 big silver locks on the front.
Ooh, I may
What are
have
the-
taken locksmith, so I'm going to try and open said locks.
What are the letters?
Evil.
EVEIL.
Okay.
Excellent. So yeah, you're going to try to open it. Yeah.
Yep.
Which lock are you going to go for first? There's one on the left, one on the right.
The one on the right.
Okay then. Enough, yeah. You have a little poke at the one on the right. After you have a little poke at it, and a section of the frontage of the lock slides away, and there's let's go one up. There's a little grey panel. It's about the size of a thumbnail. Yeah, and there's a little red telltale light flashes next to it. This little grey panel, it's got 3 segments on it. And those segments are white, red, and blue.
Poke one of them.
Yeah. I, Lilth, have no idea what I'm doing, but Blossom knows what she's doing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So yes, you have 3 little segments, white, red, and blue. And and the inside of this little section that flips up says "Made in the UK."
Yeah. She's going to press one of the sections and see what happens.
Okay, which one do you press?
The white one.
You press the right one, and the little telltale, it flashes steadily red for a moment, and then goes back to just pulsing slowly.
Press blue one.
The same thing happens. It flashes sustained red for a moment, and then goes back to pulsing intermittently to show that there's still power.
And red one.
It flashes green, just for a moment. And the telltale light is green.
I'm going to move to the other lock and do the same thing.
Okay, as you go to the other lock, go to the other lock, you flip open the little compartment, and inside, it says on the inside flap, it says unbeaten for 1,000 years. And there is a combination lock with 4 numbers.
Okay. Can I roll locksmith to work this out?
Well, you can roll locksmith to try and bust the lock if you want. It's just a case of, if you want to solve the puzzle lock, you can solve the puzzle lock. If you want to overcome the lock, you can brute force it.
Well, I'm absolutely rubbish at puzzles personally, but I don't think Blossom is. I think Blossom would know what she's doing.
Okay. So are you trying to try and figure out what the combination is? Or are you going to attempt to use your skill with locks to jimmy the lock open?
Does it have a telltale light on it? The same as the other one?
No.
I'm going to have a look at the puzzle. As Blossom would.
Yeah. Anyway, this is open to the rest of you guys as well. You can see, Blossom's found a big shiny box, or a big dull box, but it's clearly something pucker.
What would my knowledge of history be like?
Probably your own personal experience.
In which case, so the first one said, like, was it made in the? Was it say made in?
Made in the UK.
Made in the UK, and it had kind of like the colours that kind of make up like the flag. And the other one says unbeaten for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So what would happen if you put in like 1066 into the combination lock?
You put 1066 in the combination lock, and it pops open. But the other lock is still closed. What do you do?
So you pressed one colour and it went green, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So then there are 2 other colours that need to be picked. Was it red, white, and blue?
Yeah, the buttons are white, red, and blue.
White, red, and blue. And blue was the first one, yeah?
White, red, blue.
Yeah, but the blue was the one you pressed and it went green, didn't it?
No, red was the one.
Okay.
You pressed it, it went
That's
green.
the white
The light flashes green again,
and blue.
and the lock pops open.
Hey.
I'm gonna scream, no!
Yeah, the lock pops open, and inside this box, after an impressive amount of sort of gaseous sort of vapor is released, so this sort of this very cold vapor that crystallizes and sort of falls onto the ash. Quickly sort of thaws and just makes a damp patch. Because nothing fantastic happens without leaving a damp patch, apparently. So yeah, there we are. You're sitting there, amidst your open your opened trove and your damp patch, and you find inside this crate. Inside this crate, there are these 3. There are these 3 little vials in there. There were probably more once. There's a fair bit of sort of broken glass in the bottom of the box. There are these 3 vials, and within each of them, suspended in a faintly bluish fluid, is something vaguely rectangular and almost transparent. As you hold it up to the light, I assume you do.
Oh, good, yeah.
Yeah, as you hold it up to the light, you can see there's lots of tiny filaments hanging off of it.
Would I be able to take a medic check to see if I can identify this as some kind of medical, implant or something?
You could give it a shot.
Don't touch it! It's of the devil toad!
Shut up.
That'd be a 13 for a medic check.
Are you a pre-war or post-war rotter?
I'd be a post-war.
Okay. You have seen in your travels, you've seen advertisements for a place called the Savers of Specs. And in this place, they could place lenses within your eye that made you see. Lenses that were actually in physical contact with your eyeball. And some of the pictures you've seen look a little bit like this.
Okay, so it looks like something that could fit into your eye.
Maybe. It's the only thing that you could recognise this to be anything like.
So is it like a cage that's holding something, or is it?
No, but the vial is fairly similar.
Okay, so it looks like the kind of vial you'd have a contact lens in.
Yeah, it looks like the vial you might have a contact lens in, and the thing itself is vaguely rectangular, but it's got that sort of curve, and it's faintly transparent. So it kind of looks like when you see adverts, it's like, look at the contact lens, just like glide onto the eye. Ooh. Yeah. That sort of shit.
Okay. Does it look like it's kind of got any like circuitry or anything to it? Or?
It's got lots of little trailing filaments, but nothing overtly metallic.
Would I be able to roll a knowledge on this, considering that I love tech?
Yeah, you can roll. Bob, do you want to roll a knowledge on this?
It's it's a dirty 11.
A dirty 11.
Dirty 11. Not a natural 11.
You think this looks very advanced. Or like a piece of mouldy something. You're not really sure. Either way, it looks cool.
Yeah, I pocket them. I also have a look in the bottom of the case to see where these bars are smashed, what these things look like outside of the fluid.
Is Bob going to take a liturgical knowledge check to?
I am going
proclaim?
to roll.
Are you going to consult the sacred scripture to see if there's any mention of this in here?
I am going to roll a manipulate.
Okay. Oh, PvP. PvP.
Don't trust it. If you botch it, it's going to stuff it in my eye, just like, just ensure, like, no, just because you said don't, I'm going to do it now.
Okay, yeah. So you're manipulating.
Yeah. That felt. Oh, doesn't really work. I'm gonna go with the botch, because why not?
Okay, what do you say?
On the side. Fall not into the temptation of the devil toad.
I see. See, the devil newt would have been far more scary.
The devil newt.
Yes.
It will corrupt you.
Yes, the coatle of doubt. The axolotl of doom.
I did say if he botched, I would stick it in my eye.
God. Do we?
We've got 3 of these vials, haven't we?
Yeah, you've got 3 intact ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna open like one of these things and see if once it's been opened and like I can see into it more clearly if it shows any signs of kind of more apparent of its functional use.
Okay. Yeah, you open this vial. The top sort of it twists and lifts off.
Yeah.
As it does, again, a little rush of sort of a vapor comes out, and your hand gets very cold all of a sudden. And then the sort of the dew that's flash frozen on your hand thaws. Jesus, it's probably quite painful. But yeah, and you notice that the thing in the vial turns upside down. The tendrils start pointing upwards.
Okay.
And you realise that inside the top, it's not just an opening. There's it's like a shaped platform for you to put your eye on.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my eye on it.
Okay, you put your eye on it. You sort of tip it back. It's like an eye bath, basically.
Yeah.
And do you keep your eye sort of open, or do you close it, or?
I attempt to kind of keep it open so I can get in contact with my eyeball.
Okay, yeah. Your eye, your vision in that eye just goes all milky, and you kind of get a headache around that eye, like you've been looking at telly too closely, or a very bright light.
Right.
And sort of pain sort of spreads across your temple and up into your forehead, and like down into your cheek. It gets to that point where you're not sure whether it's your ear, your teeth, or your eye that's hurting. That whole area sort of generally feels terrible. And after a few minutes of that, all vision in that eye just stops.
Okay.
Nothing else happens yet.
Okay. Is this where I've been holding it against my eye? Is it being kind of like fixed there, or is it kind of loose?
It's loose. Yeah, you can take it away anytime you want.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of like I'm gonna hold it there for a minute or two to like make sure that whatever the process is finished, because I have the feeling I've just discovered some incredible medical thing that I kind of want.
Yeah. Okay. While you're doing that, Bob's ranting about the devil toad and the axolotl of annihilation, and the I don't know, the tadpoles of doom, and I can't even remember what the mid thing is called. So who cares? So yes, Blossom, you're reaching into the box. Yeah, you reach in. You find some of these wispy things, and they're just sat in the bottom. They've dried out, and they're almost like burnt greaseproof paper. As you pick them, as you try and like touch them, they break into little pieces. They're like they kind of look like little filmy jellyfish that have been dried out.
Gross.
Yeah. But it just crumbles when you try and touch it. But what else you do also find as you're in there, you find you find 3 gloves. They're sort of like a black woven fabric. And as you sort of look at them, you realise that on the inside there's like a network of like metal wires and like little probes and things on the inside. On the outside, just behind where the wrist would be, they actually go up onto the back of the hand away. They have a thumb loop. There's a port for something.
I put that on.
Okay.
No.
It's tech. It's obviously advanced. I want some of that crap.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
I'm putting that on.
You've chosen to put it on. Give me... Oh, gosh, screw it. Yeah, just give me an endurance physical.
That's a dirty 11.
Dirty 11. You put this thing on. It fits on your left arm. You slide it on. It goes almost to the elbow. And as you do, there's a sound that's almost like a dentist's drill. And the glove tightens until it fits perfectly. At which point you feel, as a nurse would say, a sharp pinch. And you feel one on the outside of your arm, and you feel one on the top of your arm.
Mm-hmm.
And you're pretty sure you couldn't take this off if you wanted to.
Oh, I don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, it could be done, but you probably wouldn't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you now have essentially a black forearm sort of manacle. Basically, it's a fingerless glove. There's a small hole in the back of the hand, but there is a little bit of like leftover fabric that you could pull over the knuckles if you wanted. But it's not sort of what you do when you pull it on at first, because there's a hole in the back. You could pull it up over your fingers if you want and protect your knuckles, or potentially you could pull it off.
No, I put it on over my knuckles.
Okay, yeah. You essentially have what looks a bit like a biker glove, but it comes up to here. There's quite clearly like a connection port on the back for something, but on the back of the wrist, you can see there's like a red light that's flashing, like fairly regularly. But that's all that's really on here at the moment.
I have another look in that box to see if I can find whatever is supposed to connect into this glove.
And so you take another peek in. There are 2 more of these gloves. They're all for the left hand. But you can't... So there doesn't seem to be anything else in here, really. There's lots of these broken vials. There's more slots for gloves. They each have their own thing. But it looks like originally there were 6. God knows why they chip it in a 6 rather than a 5, but who knows? But yeah, you find 3 of these gloves. You have
maybe one of those chips go in there.
So yeah, you have 2 vials with these weird things in, and 2 spare gloves.
I poke around in the ash and stuff to see if there's any more boxes.
Yeah, as you poke around in the ashes, there's like a lot of rubbish, basically. Like you find like the bottoms of burnt boxes. You find like bits of fabric that didn't burn. You know, too much ash fell on them. They got smothered the fire, sort of thing. You get the impression this is probably a covered wagon. Everything's it's been set on fire and it's just collapsed in at some point and smothered the fire inside. Yeah, you find cans of cooked produce that have burst and spilled everywhere. They're full of ash. And amidst all of this, you find a hip flask. And it has an engraving on it that reads, "To Sarah from Craig. Yeah. We'll always have Margate." 1986. And it's old and battered. And it looks like this isn't the first fire it's endured.
I pocket that.
Excellent.
I will also have a look at one of these vials and see if this thing reacts to the glove.
She's going to wave the vial near the glove.
I'm going to open the vial.
Okay.
And then see if the tendrils react to the glove.
Yeah, you open the vial, the tendril, the thing in the vial basically just turns the other way up, and the tendrils start like pulling it towards the top of the vial. But it doesn't seem to do anything. Wave it near the glove. You might be in danger of spilling some of the fluid it's suspended in, but it doesn't seem to be having any effect.
Okay, I have a look at, look over to Heinz and go, anything happened yet?
Have I had any further... Have the sensations changed in the last couple of minutes?
It doesn't hurt anymore.
Okay, I'm going to like gently remove like the thing that I'm holding against my eye and see whether there's anything still, whether the process, whatever was going on, is complete.
As you take it away from your eye, after a few moments, the complete black of blindness in that eye sort of gradually recedes, like it gradually just fades back into normal vision. And as you sort of you blink to get used to the light, you're fairly sure that you can see, like, in the bottom corner of your peripheral vision somewhere, like a little line of text.
Okay. Can I read it?
I say it's in your peripheral vision, sort of wherever you look. It's always in your peripheral vision.
Yeah. Can I make out what it is, or is it just slightly out of reach of me being able to see it?
It's like a tiny line of white text.
Okay.
If it even is.
Okay. So is the jar thing now empty in my hand?
Yeah. Well, it's still got the bluish liquid in, but
yeah, but it's like I'm going to reseal it in case this bluish liquid is like in some way valuable. I have no idea what it is, but maybe I'll have a fiddle later on to see if I can identify what it is.
Yeah. I say, as you how's Heinz's eyesight in general?
I'd say fairly very good up close. Maybe not quite so good long distance.
Okay. As you are sort of looking around and trying to work out what the fuck's going on with this, you realise that your which eye did you put it in?
The right.
You realise that your right eye is now definitely the stronger of your two eyes.
Okay.
Things seem, a little sharper. Slightly better focus.
Cool.
You can you can see where you camped last night in fair detail. It's not quite pin sharp, but you can spot it on the hillside where you probably couldn't have yesterday.
Okay, cool.
If you close your right eye and look at it with your left, you can't see it. You know where it is because you were just looking at it, but
yeah,
you can't make it out as well.
Huh. I'm still kind of intrigued by this bit of text. I'm going to kind of try and use my peripheral vision to try and read what it says.
I say every time you move your vision, it stays in the periphery.
Yeah,
it's not something you can really see. It's like having a scratch on the surface of your eye here.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like so moving is further away. It's like trying to look at one that's closer to your eye.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Yeah. Every time you move your eye to look at it, it moves that bit further. So
cool. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna go. Okay, well, it doesn't seem to have killed me. So it's a plus. What have you got over there? And I'm gonna go and have a look at the glove that Blossom's wearing.
It's weird glove. There's a weird flashy light. Something's supposed to fit in there, but I can't find what.
Does it look any different to me when I'm looking at it?
No.
Okay. You say there's 3 of these?
It's 2 now.
I'm going to put one of the gloves on.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a physical endurance.
Bob is just on his knees, praying.
Why?
That would be I rolled a 10. See what my physical endurance is. My endurance is, I think, 4.
That's all right. Yeah. You put it on. Again, you hear the horrible high pitched drilling noise, and you feel something like boring into the top and bottom of your arm. The thing tightens up, becoming the perfect tightness, literally skin tight. There's no air bubbles. You hear the air being pushed out. Oh, that wasn't me. Yeah. But when it's on, it doesn't feel hot. It doesn't feel stuffy. Like you don't feel sweaty inside it or anything. It's just on.
Okay.
Like, do you flip the knuckle cover over, or are you pulling it off?
So the knuckle cover, is it like I can put it on and off whenever I want to?
You don't know.
Okay. I'll put it over so it's covering my knuckles for the moment.
Okay, yeah. Say it tightens on,
Okay.
like the rest of it, the minute you put it on. It's just like, oh, okay, fair enough. But as it does so, you feel your knuckles sort of being like pulled back into line.
Okay.
Whereas you lost a finger. I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was in your other hand, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was on my right hand, yeah, so
Yeah.
my left is blunt.
So yeah, you feel it sort of pulling your knuckles back into a more like optimal alignment.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah. Almost like someone designed this glove to fight RSI.
I put one of the weird contact lenses in.
Okay, which eye?
Left eye.
Just to be awkward. Okay. Right. Yeah. You do your left eye. And yeah, you feel horrible, agonizing pain in your left eye, and you go blind. Which is joy. Bob, you've now watched two people ignore your advice and pollute their bodies with the devil toad.
Devil Newt.
What are you doing? You know, they're sitting there with their devil toad gloves, sticking devil toad tadpoles in their eyes, being blinded by the darkness of their own souls.
He is at wit's end, and he is going to freak out and run to his bike and pull out his frog. he doesn't know what to do.
It's time to ask for divine intervention.
Channel divinity.
Basically, yeah. He's like, forgive them. They know not what they do. And then he takes a big lick.
Oh Christ. Okay. Give me an endurance poison.
Poison. That one's better. That's a 7.
God. There, oh, Jesus. Yeah, you Bob screams something semi-incoherent about forgiving you. Licks Marcus and has just enough time to put Marcus back in his jar before he just face plants.
Being fairly used to this, can I just go and roll him over so he doesn't like choke on anything?
Yeah. So when you kick him over, there's like blood running from his nose and eyes.
I'll just kind of like put him into the recovery position on his side so that it drains out of his nose without pouring into his lungs and choking him.
There we are. Good. Excellent. And believe it or not, that's where we're going to leave it tonight.
Awesome.
Bleeding from the eyes and nose.
Implant to my eyes because, you know, if you find some strange unknown thing, the first thing you want to do is stick it in your eye and see what happens.
Yeah, it's
Exactly. Yeah.
The funny thing was, it was like worst thing ever. It's like the prophet's going to try and convince you not to do this. Like, if you botch, I'm doing it just to spite you. Oh, you botched. Fine, in the eye, guys.
Oh, God.
Well, the thing about this, because it's like inside of a cage, a lot of the some of the times it'll like stay right in between two, and it'll just stay there. So I'm just like, I just tapped it, and it was between like 11 and 6, and I just rolled onto the 11. So I'm like, yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, there we are. That's it for tonight. I'm trying to remember what we say at the end of these things because I can never remember because I'm always too horrified at what everyone's just been doing. So, right, Christ, I think we should do the where we can find us stuff and what we thought of it. So, Kit, where can we find you? What did you think of that? Why the hell did you make a priest who worships frogs?
This is going to come back to you in so many campaigns now.
Oh, it
The
will.
frog worshipping cult of the south.
Heezus the frog
South
god, yeah.
I'm gonna use it. Oh, it's fine. I loved it. Oh my gosh, this is probably the most ridiculous character I've ever made, bar none. Like it. Oh, I love it. And yeah, everything just happened. Did not plan for it. It just kind of like, oh, well, now he's a frog. Yep, now he licks frogs. Yep, that's... Did not plan for that. It just happened. And I love it.
Oh.
As for me, you can find me here for the next few Mondays, and on my channel when I stream, which is Kit Battlebeard, and also on Twitter as the same. I can't tell you exactly when I stream because it's still the summer and everybody is doing things, and with school starting up, we'll see what the schedule change will be.
Indeed.
So yeah. Hit me up with those frog gods, guys.
Yes. Fall ye not to the tadpoles of sin. Be not tempted by the axolotl of annihilation. And Lilth, where can we find you? What are you doing and what did you think of that?
Oh, that is so much fun. I love the fact that my character has decided that Bob is an idiot.
Oh, he is.
Ignores him. And completely blanks him. You know, he's just doing his thing. He's just falling over and frothing at the mouth and stuff. He does that. Oh, well. That was really, really, really good fun. I can't wait to find out what the hell I've stuck on my arm and stuck in my eye. That's going to be interesting.
Yes. It should be.
Should be, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, we'll never find out and you'll all die.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Bit of both. Why not both? Anyway, you can find me here on a Monday. You can find me on Twitter at PurpleBeeHolder because I changed it. And when Kit and everyone decides that we're playing again, you can find me on Kit's channel whenever we start playing that campaign again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this Saturday it was my fault.
Oh, well, there was several things that happened.
Yeah.
It was just me playing, so it's fine.
Oh.
Oh. And with that, we'll come to the most vital, the most analytical, the least logical, possibly, of the group.
Perfectly logical to stick strange unknown apparatus into your eye. Especially when you've you've got to prove the prophet of the toad god wrong. Yeah, when your glorified taxi driver tells you shouldn't do it because it will anger the frog god, there's no other logical thing to do except to stuff things in your eye.
At least I waited until the guinea pig had done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was really fun. I mean, it's always great to experiment around with kind of like crazy like tech stuff, and I kind of like the idea that we've kind of got like the medical guy and the tech person, and then we've got the cyclist kind of taxi driver who like kind of goes mad and foams at the frog. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I'm kind of like excited to see where this all goes now. I'm just debating whether we just go up to the unconscious one and apply one of these things to him just to like while he's unconscious, just to see what effect it will have on like a mad raving lunatic. But
I'm not sure if you saw, but I posted his bike in Discord.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to check that one out a bit. But yeah, I just like also I think like if anyone fancies drawing some artwork of the three of us herring down a mountain, like somehow mounted on this like pink 12-year-old's bike, that would be pretty awesome. But yeah, you can catch me. I'll be hanging out on Discord. You can catch me on the website bloodthirstpuppets.co.uk, and probably those two places are the most likely place to find me. And here on Monday for the rest of these prequels, and then possibly upcoming projects in the future. Date to be set.
Excellent. So yeah, so that's that from them. And once again, I was thirsty, I was the world, and all of its petty irritations, frog gods, hallucinogenic odysseys, and terrible technological devices. You can find me on Twitter at thirsty_BTP, and you can find me at bloodthirstpuppets.co.uk when that works. I don't know what's happening with that. It's currently up. Huzzah! So yeah, let's see. If you join us today on Twitch, thank you for doing that, because that's awesome. If you're watching this later on YouTube, thanks, because hey, not everyone can be around on a Monday night, apparently. Well, we could, but look at me, I don't have a life. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you guys for playing, and drink up. Cheerio. Oh.
Are we going to be fighting dragons?
Dragons? Fuck.
Mutated dragonflies then?
Mutated fire newts.
No!
I think if you detected fire newts, I think it would be your holy mission that you'd have to go and destroy them.
The new title, Prophet Bob, Paladin of Heezus.
Oh.
His holy highest.
I'm just imagining the giant frog-legged scepter you'd have to
Well, he currently has one of those cross stabs that they have in church. That's what he fights with.
I just imagine if you just curved it slightly upwards into more of a forked frog foot kind of icon, it might be more appropriate.
Yeah,
because then you could stamp the frog foot on people's faces when you fight with them. Submit to Heezus.
Oh, jeez. Yes, I think this idea that I planned anything at all is very complimentary. So yeah, Jesus God, we'll see where this goes.
Did you expect that as soon as we got this, we'd immediately start applying these things to our eyeballs and such like?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So actually, I really liked the little puzzle thing. I thought that was really cool.
That was cool. Unfortunately, I'm really, really bad at puzzles.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's kind of like one of those things that when you hear of something explained audibly to you, I guess it's something because we're so used to using our eyes that when you hear someone explain something to you, it's like, hang on, what?
Yeah.
I was oh, okay, I figured. Well, also the colours, that was fairly simple, and I got that.
Yeah.
And the number one I thought was probably I quite like to have that.
Yeah. Well, we established in a home campaign some time ago that Dwellink really makes shit puzzles. They're very predictable. So and often make historical or literary references. So there we are. So yeah. Thanks guys for playing. This was a lot of fun to improvise wildly at you. So yeah. Thanks guys.
Oh, so much fun.
That was so fun.